Hello! It is cold. It is cold. It is the cold season. And you know what comes in the cold season? You know what comes in the winter? You know what comes about this time of year? Most years on my channel as we head towards the chilly month of February? Polarthon! Polarthon is coming. Polarthon is on its way to you this February 2025. If you are thinking, Jade, what the heck is Polarthon? Allow me to explain. Polarthon is a polar fantasy wintry themed readathon that I do every year, and I have lost count of how many years I have been doing it. Maybe like 5, 6, I don't know, many years. And it happens every February, and the aim of the game is usually to read polar fantasy books, cold, wintry themed books, and also raise money for Polar Bears International, which is a charity that focuses on helping the polar bears and combating climate change and helping the Arctic, etc. So that's the broad overview of what Polarthon is. Usually every year Polarthon happens on the first full week of February. However, this year, in the first full week of February, I'm going to be in Iceland on my Trover trip, and I am so excited about that. Cannot wait. The Iceland vlog is going to be incredible. I just know it already. So, in order to still be able to compete in and celebrate Polarthon season with you all, this year, 2025, is the year that Polarthon is becoming a month-long celebration. So, for the entirety of February, it is Polarthon season, baby. Now, each year, how the Readathon actually works changes. We've had boards, we've had maps, we've had competitions, we've had page counts, and so on. And this year's theme of Polarthon is Polarthon the Whiteout. It's a bit like bingo, but allow me to shuffle over here just a smidge so you can see the board. This is the Polarthon Whiteout board. It is a 4x4 board. So I say a bit like bingo. It's not bingo because the aim isn't to actually like get a bingo. The aim is to white out this board. And usually that would be to black out the board, as in to cross off every single prompt, but it's polar themed and polar bears are white, so we are whiting out this board. And that is the aim of the game. You have a month to do this, to white out the board. You can double up, because I know that this would be a lot for some people reading wise in 1 month. For others, completely achievable, and that is absolutely fine. But if you are not someone who reads an awful lot, then you can absolutely double up, triple up, whatever you need to do in order to reach the whiteout on the board. Let me go through the prompts on this board with you. A lot of them are incredibly self-explanatory, but let's just run through. First off, we have blue cover. This is quite simply a book with blue on the cover. If the cover is entirely blue, great. If you want to squeeze something into fitting in there because it's got the littlest bit of blue on the cover, I will let you do that. If there is blue on the cover, it counts for blue cover. Next over we have snowy setting. This is where something in the book takes place in a snowy setting. Does not have to be the entirety of it, but a snowy setting should be present in the book somewhere. Next over, chilly vibes, something cold. Doesn't necessarily have to be snowy this time though, but just something cold. Something perhaps wintry or however else you may be cold, but chilly vibes. Next over we have black cover. Works very similarly to blue cover, except black. Cozy vibes is very much a personal preference sort of spot on the board. If it gives you cozy vibes, if it makes you feel the fuzzies, cozy vibes, that counts. Polar fantasy. Polar fantasy is what started this whole readathon, my love for polar fantasy, so it would be wrong not to have included it on the board. But polar fantasy is any fantasy book that has a polar, arctic, wintry element to it. So if there is icy magic, or if there is some sort of like ice elemental, or if it is a fantasy that is set in the Arctic or Antarctic, or anywhere, I suppose, in the Arctic Circle, anything like that, but just a fantasy that has a polar element to it. Next over we have snowy cover. So the cover has to feature snow on it in some capacity. Could just be a snowflake, could be a snowy scenery, could be a snowman, but snow has to be on the cover of the book somewhere. Animal companion is an animal companion within the book. Someone having a familiar or a pet, or an animal guide, or riding a horse or something, but an animal companion on our character's journey. Next up is warm. That's quite self-explanatory as well, but a warmer read. Maybe there's fire involved, or the cover has something warm on it. Maybe the characters are wrapped up warm. Maybe you were just really warm when reading it, but warm. Next over we have Arctic adventure, a little bit more specific with this one, but an Arctic adventure. An adventure in the Arctic, which is a bit more specific. But again, it is very in theme of the readathon, so had to be in there. Next over is icy. I will let that be interpreted by yourself, whether that is icy magic, or whether there is ice skating, or whether there is ice on the cover. You can interpret icy however you see fit, but icy. Next over is non-fiction. This is a new one for Polarthon, but non-fiction. You can do whatever sort of non-fiction you want for this. I am hoping personally to take my non-fic more down the route of Arctic, climate change, that sort of area, so bonus points to you if you do that. Next up is foiled cover. You know how on book covers you can get like the shiny bits? The metallic bits, those foiled bits. So any book that has foiling on the cover in any capacity counts for a foiled cover. Next over is winter read. A winter read. A wintry read can either be set at winter or be something seasonal, but a winter read. Next up is snowy, similar to icy. You can interpret that how you wish. Snowy, icy. They're very similar, you know? But the whole theme of this readathon is quite similar. But snowy. Snow on the cover, snow in the book, snow. If you read it in the snow, snow. And then finally, white cover. White on the cover. I have tried to make most of these really open to interpretation. There are no rules really on how you choose to fill these prompts in. If you feel that a book fits for the prompt, then absolutely use it. If you feel it fits for multiple prompts and you want to use it across the board to achieve your whiteout, then absolutely use that as well. Go for it, have fun with it. That is the main point. Polarthon has always been mainly about having fun. But on the other side of Polarthon, as years have gone on and it has evolved and developed, it has also become a charitable cause. I will leave a link to the Just Giving page down below, but I set up a Just Giving page for Polarthon a few years ago, and every time I bring it back, I bring the page back as a way to raise funds for Polar Bears International. It's a cause that has been close to my heart for many years. I love nature. I am, you know, wanting to do as much as I possibly can do to help the planet, and bringing that into reading and doing my reading challenges and stuff, like, it's always just made sense to me. So the Just Giving page will be linked down below. What I will be doing is every book I read, I will be donating a minimum of £2 to the Just Giving page. So if I read 10 books in February, that will be £20 that I will be donating. On top of that, as I do every Polarthon, Any ad revenue that I gain from the Polarthon themed vlogs will also be donated. So any pennies that I make from this video, I'll be honest, it's never a lot, but any pennies that I make from this video or any of the Polarthon vlogs will also be donated to Polar Bears International as well. So if you would like to join me in that and donate as you go throughout the month for every book you finish, or however you choose to do it, then the link is down below. Of course, absolutely no pressure on this, only do so if you are able and you want to. As I say, I will be doing £2 per book that I finish. If that's achievable for you as well, then I would love for you to join me in doing that sort of challenge. But yeah, the option is there, and I just think it makes it that extra little bit special too. So that's exciting. The whole month of February, links down below to download the board and access the donations, and that is, in terms of the readathon, just about all you need to know. As I mentioned, I am going to Iceland on my Trover trip for Polarthon this year, or what would be the traditional week of Polarthon. I am so super excited about this. It was a Trover trip that had been planned like 2 years ago now. It seems like it was such a long time ago that I planned this trip to Iceland to celebrate Polarthon, and now it is just around the corner and I am so excited. But I would also like to take this opportunity to let you know that if you wanted to come on a polar adventure of your own with me, if you saw Iceland and thought, oh, I really want to do that, but not quite yet, or it had sold out by the time you wanted to do it, if you have considered coming on an Arctic adventure with me, I am launching another Trover trip to Scandinavia. I will leave the links to this down below. This trip will be happening in March 2026. So it won't be February, so it won't quite be for the next Polarthon, but March 2026. A Scandinavian adventure of our own. It is a triple header going to Norway, Sweden and Finland, with some incredible things on the itinerary, like going to visit the Ice Hotel, a reindeer safari. So exciting, and knocking off those 3 like bucket list Scandinavian countries in one trip with incredible like-minded travelling companions sounds like an absolute dream. I will leave the link to it down below so you can check out the itinerary, and either at the point of this video going up you should be able to like sign up to emails to be alerted when it goes live, but it is going live on Friday the 24th. That trip will be going live and be available to purchase a slot. I'm very excited and would absolutely love if you chose to come on another wintry adventure with me. So the details for that will be down below. But that just seemed like a nice little place to slot that information in, as this year, for part of Polarthon, I will be on a polar adventure of my own, and I'm really excited about it. That is all I have to say. That is all the rambling. You got all the information you needed to know about the readathon. You've seen the board. You know that it's for the full month of February. Of course, I will do some sprints throughout February. Throughout February, you will see my face. And as always, any pennies I make from those will be donated to the polar bears as well. Let's see if we can hopefully raise another little chunk of pennies for the bears. But yeah, I'm really excited. I hope you are too, and I will see you in February for Polarthon. And I will probably see you before then as well. So, yeah. Okay. Bye.